Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and I am on the edge of my seat, so stinking excited because today I am finally going to be reintroducing my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan. This is most likely my favorite project pan that I have ever done and probably one that I find some of the most success in. And I'm so happy to be doing it again. You guys know from years prior, this is a project that I tend to do at the end of the month. I try to space my projects out throughout the month so that you're not getting all of your updates in the first like 10 days of the month. So I know a lot of people tend to do pan those eyeshadows at the beginning of the month. I like to do it closer to the middle or end. So we are finally back. If this is your first time clicking on one of my videos, thank you and welcome. I hope that you will consider subscribing before you leave, and certainly if you enjoy this video or project panning in general, I hope that you'll go ahead and give it a thumbs up. But without further ado, let's talk about this project. So this is a project that was created by Rebecca Morgan. No, it wasn't. I heard about it from Rebecca Morgan, but it was actually created by Alexy here on YouTube and really caught fire. She started it a number of years ago now, I want to say. She has actually stopped doing this project for the moment. She is still doing Pan That Palette this year, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe Rebecca's going to be reintroducing her project in a couple of months' time. But it has just garnered so much just enjoyment from so many of us here in the YouTube community and the panning community and the Instagram community. I've had a lot of coffee today. If you caught some of my videos from last week, which by the way, you guys might be on Ashley overload at this point because I have put out so many videos this month. But unfortunately my oldest was sick and so I did not get a lot of sleep throughout the week. Thankfully, he seems to have rebounded and he's back to being his normal, rambunctious, super awesome self. But I've had just a lot going on and my husband picked me up coffee today to be sweet. So I've had a few cups at this point. So I apologize for the super rambliness. But yes, this was originally created by Alexy, but I discovered it through Rebecca Morgan. And I will make sure to have both of those ladies linked in the description box below. The idea behind this project is that you randomize eyeshadow palettes to work on until you hit whatever goal you choose. Most often my goals are going to be to hit pan, but not always. And we'll talk about that when we get into my personal project. It is a monthly updated project and it is rolling. My project this year, as usual, is going to go from January until December. And then I can't imagine a world where I don't bring this back in 2022, which is so weird to say. So what I'm going to do this year is a little bit different. I change it up every year. The very first year that I did this, I did pan those discontinued eyeshadows, choosing only from my limited edition and discontinued palettes. Last year I did all of my eyeshadow palettes, and this year I'm doing none of my eyeshadow palettes. I am actually going to be using my individual my single shadows. So I have all of them in either these little magnetic palettes here. I've got these magnetic palettes here. I have a lot of individual eyeshadows. I keep saying that wrong. I have lots of single eyeshadows. And I really want to get much more use out of them this year. I bought a lot of single shadows last year because I have been really enjoying getting to know some more indie brands, and eyeshadows for me are the way to do that. So I've got a lot here, and I think that I'm going to be choosing 6 for my project this year. So 6 at any given time. I do have a couple of caveats in there. So I do give myself 4 vetoes to use throughout the year. So whether that's upon initial roll or if I'm working on it and I decide, you know what, I just don't want to do this anymore, I can veto it out a total of 4 times throughout the year. Additionally, if I use a shadow 30 times and I still have not hit pan, I have the option of rolling it out at that point without having to utilize a veto. I figure 30 uses, if I haven't hit pan, either I'm never gonna hit pan or it's probably just around the corner, and I can make that determination at that time. So those are 2 of the caveats that I've always put in the project. but I'm going to add a couple more this year. So I'm not going to work on any cream colored eyeshadows, and I'm not going to work on any true black shadows as well, just because I don't really use black eyeshadows, and cream shadows, I use those every day. Those are boring. I want to use fun stuff on my eyes. So those I will always be just sort of kicking out, and I'll let you know if that happens. But also this year, because I'm using my single eyeshadows, I want to give myself the option of choosing a different number goal instead of trying to hit pan. I've got a number of really unique and interesting shadows in my singles collection that I don't necessarily want to blow through. So an example would be in my Terra Moons. I have a whole bunch of these down here at the bottom. They look like they're white, but they're really these iridescent duochromes. They're really, really cool. I don't want to try to hit pan on those, but if I roll them, I do want to get usage out of them. So I will always give myself the option of setting a small number goal so that I am using the shadows within my collection, but not necessarily pushing myself to hit pan. I hope that that makes sense. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start randomizing some eyeshadows to work on. All right, so I have put my variables into my Pretty Random app here on my phone. I've got shadows 1 through 285. So let's go ahead and randomize these babies to get, before I forget, we are going to clear history and prevent rerolls, because rerolls don't matter. Okay, here we go again. All right, so my first number is 223, 179, 31, 4, and what is that, 98? How many did I roll? Did I roll all 6? No, I've got one more to go. Alrighty, and 259. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dive into all of these. I have them all marked on the back so that it makes it a lot easier for me. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull all of those shadows, put them in this baby right here, and then we'll come back, we'll take a look, swatch them, and we'll see what we're working with for our very first month of my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. All right, my friends, so here is the color story that we are working with for January. So let's talk about what I have in here and what my goals are for each of them. So let's go ahead and start with this amazing beauty right here. So this doesn't really look like much in the pan, but this is Terra Moon's Light Year. It is, let's see, I don't even know if the camera can do it justice. It is this amazing, shifty, insanely beautiful shadow. So it goes to an iridescent green and blue and white and lilac, and it is so stunning. And it's exactly the reason why I have the caveat in there that I don't necessarily want to hit pan on some of these shadows. This is one of those shadows I am not ready to try to hit pan on. So we are going to give a very small usage goal so that I can play with it, but I'm not pushing myself to try to hit pan on it. So I'm going to go with a usage goal of 5. Some of you are probably shaking your head and kind of annoyed, and for that I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because, oh, it's so beautiful and I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. All right, so the next shade that I have pulled is this right here. This is by ColourPop, and it is in the shade Too Much. So it is kind of this maroon wine sort of shade, but it's got a lot of glitter in it. Not my favorite formula, but I am going to push myself to try to hit pan on it. It is this shadow right here. Okay. The next one is shade number 4. I have no idea where this came from. It is just this sort of kind of soft pinky lilac. It's in a bit of a satin sort of finish. On the back, it just has the word Shell stamped on it, so I'm assuming that's the shade name, but I have no idea what brand it is or where it came from or what have you. So we're gonna try to hit pan on that baby. You probably can't see it, but it's this shade right here. It's just slightly different than my actual skin tone. The next shade, number 31, is this one here from Adept Cosmetics. Really, really pretty. This is very new to my collection. It is this gorgeous cooler tone bronze right here. This is the kind of bronze that I absolutely love. It is a little bit on the cooler side. It has a slightly olive undertone to it. So beautiful. As much as it pains my heart, I will try to hit pan on that one. The next one, 179, is this gorgeous shadow right here from Colored Rain. This is in the shade Green Valley. It is this really neat lime green shade right here that has like some bronze mixed in with it. Really, really interesting shadow. I don't have a lot like this in my collection. I would like to hit pan on it. And then the one that I struggled the hardest with coming up with a goal for is this one right here. This is from Sydney Grace. This is in the shade Glitz and Glamour. And it is this beautiful, beautiful sort of taupey lilac. Oh, so pretty. I struggle with what to do with the goal on this one because as much as I love Sydney Grace, she refreshes her lineup constantly. So a lot of her shadows become discontinued to make room and make way for newer shadows, which I fully respect, but it makes it really hard for my hoarding heart to want to pan it because I know that I can't replace it. Now, I say that not 100% accurately because let's face it, I am sure that I probably have something that may look similar on the eye somewhere in my collection. In fact, probably, hold on, question. All right, so this is my Sydney Grace Enduring Love palette. I will love this enduringly. And there's a shade in here that makes me feel like could be very similar. So this right here on the end, this is in the shade Albert. Definitely has a little bit more of a steely quality to it. Okay, so yeah, not the same, but quite similar. So it's kind of the kind of pewter brother, if you will, to Glitz and Glamour. So yeah, so okay. I'm gonna start with a goal of 15 uses and see how I'm feeling at that point. So that is where we are there. This is the beautiful, beautiful color story that I'm going to be working with for the month of January. Again, I apologize. This video was kind of all over the place because I am personally kind of all over the place, but I hope that you enjoyed it. And again, if you are new and you have not yet subscribed, I very much hope that you will do so before leaving. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope that you are having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.